What's going on, webheads, and welcome back to another video on the Spider Pops channel. Today we're at a location we've never been to before on the Spider Pops YouTube channel. We are at one of the biggest comic book locations in the Denver area. We are at Mile High Comics today. Very infamous in the Denver area. As you can see, they got a nice set of train tracks right here, so if a train does end up coming, we got a friendly neighborhood Spider Pops here that'll be able to stop it from crashing into the store. So we're gonna go in and ask if we're able to film a little bit inside and see if we're able to showcase the store a little bit, because all of the stuff they have inside is just wicked webtastic. As you can see, the front of the store right here is wicked cool. We got our friendly neighborhood Spider-Man right there. It's just gonna be a wicked webtastic time, so make sure you guys stick around till the end. Alright, we got permission to film inside of Mile High Comics. Super stoked about that. They have so much cool stuff here. We're just going to be trying to go over all of the really awesome Spider-Man stuff we're able to see, so we're just going to pick up recording wherever we find something cool. As you guys can see right here, we got another Spider-Man in the building. It's uncanny. So yeah, we're just gonna go ahead and walk around the store really quick, see all the cool stuff they got, and then we'll just show you guys everything cool that we see along the way. Alright, starting off over here, we got a case filled with a whole bunch of really cool stuff. They have a whole bunch of South Park figures over here. Growing up in Colorado, South Park is a pretty big icon in the state, so it's pretty cool. They have a pretty huge collection right there. And then moving over here is where we get some pretty exciting stuff. As you guys can see right here, they actually do have some Spider-Man hot toys. One that I've actually never seen before in person is going to actually be this Spider-Punk right here, so it is actually really cool to actually see them have it here for sale. It's going for $350. I'm guessing that's because you can't really buy it anymore, so it is going to be up a little bit. They do have the black and gold suit down there as well from Spider-Man No Way Home, which is wicked awesome as well. And then they do have the Spider-Man stealth suit that you do get to see in Spider-Man Far From Home. So a whole bunch of retired Spider-Man hot toys that they do have here for sale. That is really awesome. I'm just really excited to see the whole selection of the store, because they should have a whole bunch of wicked awesome Spider-Man stuff. Alright, so as you can see, we have America's largest comics website. So they do have a whole lot of Marvel comics just in this one area, and as you can see, just this wall alone is purely Spider-Man. You can see down here we do have this iconic Amazing Spider-Man number 55 with the cover art done by Patrick Gleason. We did just meet Patrick Gleason at Denver Fan Expo, and he was signing a whole lot of versions of this comic book. So it is really awesome that they do have all these. It looks like they have a bunch of third and second printings of this Amazing Spider-Man number 55. So still really cool because it's such an iconic cover. So we'll see. I might have to pick one of those up for my comic book collection at some point, but it is really nice to see that Mile High Comics does have a bunch of them in stock here today. I don't even know if you can see it up there. That is literally the first appearance of Miles Morales right there, and you definitely can't see the price tag, but they have it going for $450. Not complaining, because that's a really cool comic, but it's just incredible to be able to see all of these like vintage and rare comics just all here in one place. So pretty awesome. As we come over to this section, Miss Spider Pops actually just grabbed me as I was recording, and they do have a whole bunch of the graded comics over here. These are going to be a lot of pretty old comics that they do actually have graded and actually certified by the comic graders, so it is super cool. As you can see right there, we have a really awesome Marvel Secret Wars with Spider-Man and Secret Shield. I've never seen that cover before, so it is super cool. And as you can see back to back, we have Amazing Spider-Man with the Molten Man in there. This one right here is actually kind of neat, because this is actually the one that they have as a banner out in front of their building. It's just a really cool comic because it is the second cameo appearance of Mary Jane Watson. It is Amazing Spider-Man number 38, and they do have it right outside on the building, so it is really cool that you can actually, if you really wanted to, for $500, you can get that exact same comic for your collection today.
Meanwhile.
Wow.
Not necessarily Spider-Man related, but they got the setup when it comes to Star Wars stuff right here. As you can see, this is just like all old school toys. You can see they got stuff from Return of the Jedi. They got an old Millennium Falcon Air Hogs drone. I remember that being out when I was a little kid. They got an old school Episode 2 Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I bet you if I look really hard, I can find a bunch of action figures I had when I was a little kid. They've got an old R2-D2, and he comes with a little coin. Wow! Alright, now as we move on around the corner, you can see, look at all this. Like, this is Asajj Ventress from like the old school Clone Wars animated series. Now I know like none of this is Spider-Man related, but I'm a huge Star Wars fan as well, and I'm nerding out just the same as all this stuff. As you can see right here, they got all these replica lightsabers. We got Count Dooku, Kylo Ren, Darth Maul from Star Wars Rebels, Darth Sidious, the Darksaber. Like, if you bought that, you would literally rule Mandalore right now. And then right here, probably the coolest one that I see, since I just finished playing the new Jedi Survivor game, we have Cal Kestis with the Seer Junda end to the side of it. Now, if you haven't finished that game, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but it's just a really awesome lightsaber. I feel like the design they gave Cal Kestis was really sick. So it's pretty awesome that they actually do have all of these lightsabers here. I'm guessing this is a Star Wars collector that actually does have a case here, but still really awesome that they do have the option to get this in the store. All right, moving on to this aisle right here. We have some pretty cool Spider-Man stuff here just immediately off the bat. Right here, we have a kite that comes all the way back from Sam Raimi's first Spider-Man movie. I can buy it for $20 right now. It's in a little bit of beat up condition. And moving on, Miss Spider-Pops has just found maybe the holy grail of Spider-Man old school action figures. Yeah, right here we have a whole bunch of really cool ones. As you can see, we have Smythe right here. I believe these are all from the 90s animated series, but these aren't even Marvel Legends. These are made by Toy Biz, as you can see at the top, so they are quite a bit different, but as you can see, they're all in their original packaging, which is pretty cool. We have Doctor Strange right there from the Spider-Wars arc, and then at the very back, if you can see him, we do have Tombstone, so wicked cool on that row. We got Kraven the Hunter, Rhino, Electro, and Spider-Woman Jessica Drew all the way in the back right there, so pretty cool. You can get pretty much like the whole Sinister Six from the old school Spider-Man 90s animated series. Miss Spider-Pops is freaking out quite a bit because she did just find an old school Black Cat action figure from the 90s animated series as well, so pretty cool. As you can see, it actually says it right there on the back, on the box, from the new animated series. So it looks like these ones were coming out like right around when the show was coming out, so these are some pretty classic figures. Oh my goodness, look at this absolute classic right there. You see one side, he's got a kind of roughed up, it's supposed to be red. I can see it in real life. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but that's supposed to be red. But on the box, you can definitely see it. But he's a little bit crispy, but he is still super cool. As you can see right there, it's supposed to be like the Two-Face, one side Peter Parker, one side Spider-Man that they like to portray in the early Marvel Spider-Man comics. So pretty cool. They do have an old school figure of it for $30 right there. Alright, as you can see, we have like 1, 2, 3 rows of Funko Pops. We're gonna play a game today. How many Spider-Man Funko Pops can we spot in the Funko Pop selection? Let's start off with this first row. One. 2. 3. 3 in the first row. Let's move on to the second. Alright, second row came up close with a grand total of 0. Let's move on to round 3. Ooh, that's a cool poster. Alright, the winner of the Spider-Man Funko Pop Challenge, row 1, with a total of 3 Spider-Man Funko Pops. Give it up for row 1. Oh, sorry about that, guy. Oh, wait. Man, I don't gotta worry about you. You're... Alright, coming up in this bookshelf, I think I might have found the first thing I might actually pick up today. And that's gonna be, I think it is the right one right here. We do have Spider-Man End of Spider-Verse, and I did actually start reading this in the single issues, but I did miss one in between, so I got kind of stuck on like the 4th issue, and it got pretty heated up. If you guys haven't read the End of Spider-Verse comics, I highly recommend it because some crazy stuff happens to our 616 favorite Peter Parker and a whole bunch of other really beloved Spider people as well. As you can see on the back, absolute banananess, but pretty cool. It's only $24.99, as you can see right there, so relatively affordable, and it should actually contain the whole story inside the book. So I'm gonna be picking this up today, and then we're gonna just keep going around and see if we find anything else that's pretty cool. Like even moving on right here. Oh, hello there! Okay. Yeah, my soul just left my body. They shouldn't look like that. Oh, let's just move on. Like, oh my goodness, do I even need to speak when I show off this shelf? I'm just gonna let the shelf speak for itself. Oh my goodness, they even have a real life smart car replica. Wow. Spider-Man. Don't tell Miss Spider-Pops, but she would literally freak out right now, because I don't think she's seen this collectible yet today, but look. Look at that. It's a living cat collectible at Mile High Comics. Absolutely bananas. Oh my goodness. I don't know if you guys can see that back there, but that might be the funniest Marvel Legend I've ever seen. We have Venomized Spider-Ham that comes with an actual Spider-Ham Marvel Legend. Pretty hilarious. You can see it's like more beefed up than the biggest hog you'll ever see on the farm, so that's a pretty funny Marvel Legend. And then just this shelf in general, this is a Spider-Man fan for sure who made this shelf. As you can see right here, we got a whole bunch of old school action figures, as well as some newer Marvel Legends as well. So pretty awesome shelf right here. You can see we have a die-cast Spider-Gwen, a Spider-Gwen statue, and even an Edge of Spider-Verse Spider-Gwen Marvel Legend. Not sure if Miss Spider-Pumps has seen that one yet, but so we'll probably have to show her that before we end up heading out of here. And then that's actually kind of neat. That's a Spider-Man Far From Home, like old school looking action figure. I didn't even know they made those, but that's kind of cool. It's for $10. Has him in a stealth suit, and it features a wall grappling suction cup, so that's kind of funny. And going to this comic bin right here, they have a whole bunch of really awesome Spider-Man comics, and as you can see right here, it's 7 for $19.95. 7 comics for 20 bucks. Honestly, not that bad of a deal for $2.85 each, so we're gonna have to take advantage of this absolute bargain. Some of my older sibling actually just pointed out they actually do have the whole run of the Spider-Verse run with Morlun and the Inheritors, so that is actually pretty cool. I've never actually read this full run, so I think I might actually pick up all 7 of these, I believe, including the epilogue. So pretty awesome. They actually do have all of them right here, and they're in the $3.95 comic bin, so not too bad, not too bad.
2 hours later.
All right, we've secured the bag, and we're heading out of Mile High Comics today. Didn't get to show you guys this as we were on the way in, but they got a wicked cool hallway with all sorts of wicked sick decorations. Spider-Man. Spider-Man. That's right. All right, we just made it out of Mile High Comics. Found a whole bunch of wicked webtastic stuff. We're gonna show it off once we get back to the Pop office. But Miss Spider-Pop's got a whole bunch of really awesome stuff as well, so we're gonna go ahead and get on back to the Pop office and show you guys all the wicked webtastic stuff we got today at Mile High Comics.
Please be careful, because you'll slip on these rocks.
Okay, here we go. Focus. Speed. I am speed.
I didn't die. I didn't die. It's because that guy was watching on over me. Let's get back to the Pop office.
Eventually.
All right, and we are back in the Pop office. Miss Spider Pops and I got a whole bunch of really awesome stuff from Mile High Comics. If you guys are in the Denver area, I highly suggest you stop by and check out Mile High Comics because it is such a wicked webtastic comic book store. I don't think I've ever seen such a large selection of Marvel comic books and comic books in general in one area. So if you guys do ever get a chance to go there, I highly recommend it. So we did get a few really cool things to add to the Spider Pops collection today, so we're going to go ahead and show those off to you really quick. We're going to go ahead and start off by showing off the stuff that Miss Spider Pops actually got today. So starting off, this first one is really cool. We did actually show it off a little bit earlier in the video, but it is actually going to be this Black Cat right here from the Spider-Man 90s animated series. Really cool figure. As you can see right there, it does have a collector's pin in there as well. This figure is a pretty vintage figure. As you can see, it is still in the box, and it did come out around when the Spider-Man 90s animated series was dropping, so around like 1994, 1995. Just a really awesome figure. As you can see, it says it's from the Spider-Wars series that was going on during that show. And it is just a really awesome old school figure from the Spider-Man 90s animated series of Felicia Hardy. We do have a few Marvel Legends that you can kind of see in the back right there that did kind of take the same sort of box style, but those ones are in fact Marvel Legends, and I believe we were able to determine earlier, yeah, it does say at the bottom corner on the back of the box that this was made by Toy Biz. You can see the back of the box here as well does have a bunch of really awesome vintage Spider-Man toys on the back from the 90s as well, so really awesome to be able to see that on the back of this Black Cat Spider-Man 90s animated series figure. Just a wicked awesome figure, and super stoked that Miss Spider Pops was able to find that to add to her collection. Next up is one that I actually was able to spot and show off to Miss Spider Pops, and Miss Spider Pops had to get it because, you know, Spider Pops has some good choice sometimes, has that good taste. But she did actually see this Marvel Legends Spider-Gwen and decided that it was a must-have for the Miss Spider Pops collection. So Miss Spider Pops does have two Spider-Gwen Marvel Legends, which is a lot more than what I have, but super cool Spider-Gwen Marvel Legend that we do have right here. Alright, up next, we do have a couple of the comics that Miss Spider Pops was actually able to get for her collection. And starting off with this first one, we do actually have this Black Cat comic right here. And the funny thing about this one is actually Miss Spider Pops was looking all over the store today, and with the vast amount of comic books that Mile High Comics actually had, this was actually the only Black Cat comic that they had in the entire store. So pretty cool that Miss Spider Pops was able to track it down and get it to add to her collection, and it's a pretty funny story, being that it was the only one in that whole entire massive comic book store. So pretty awesome Black Cat comic that we do have right there. As you can see, the cover art is wicked awesome, so wicked stoked that Miss Spider Pops was able to add this one to her collection as well. And this is actually going to be the last thing that Miss Spider Pops picked up today for her collection, and it is actually going to be this Ghost Spider Dog Days Are Over full book, which has like the full series of the comic issues that this Ghost Spider line took part in. So really awesome that Miss Spider Pops was able to get this one in her collection. I will definitely have to borrow it from her at some point to see how the actual story goes, because I actually haven't read a whole lot of the Ghost Spider or Spider-Gwen comics, so super interested to see what this one is actually like once we actually both get to read it. Alright, but next up we actually got some of the stuff that I got from my collection, so pretty cool. As you guys saw in the store, we were able to go over it a little bit, but they did actually have a whole run of the Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Verse comics with Morlun and the Inheritors, and those are some pretty crazy villains in the Spider-Man comics. If you guys haven't ever heard of Morlun, I highly suggest you guys pick up a couple of those comics that have him in it, or look up a video on YouTube that goes over his whole storyline, because he is an absolute force to be reckoned with when it comes to the Spider-Verse, and anytime he shows up in any of the comics, some stuff's about to go down. So really awesome. We were able to get this whole line of Amazing Spider-Man Spider-Verse comics. As you can see, we got part 1 all the way to the epilogue at the very end. So really awesome right there. So super stoked we were able to get all of these. They had such really awesome covers. This epilogue cover is wicked awesome. And the main one that definitely caught my eye when I was actually going over these in the store is this really iconic Moreland and the Inheritors family portrait, which does have like all of the Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse hung up as trophies on top of their wall. So pretty crazy cover right there. I'm expecting an absolute banana storyline once I actually do get to read it. But as you guys saw once we were recording, it was actually like 7 comics for $20. So it was only about like 20 bucks for that whole line. So it made about like $2 and some change for each comic. So pretty good deal, and on a Peter Parker budget, I can appreciate it. So huge shout out to Mile High Comics for that one. And then up next, I was looking for some of the Zeb Wells Amazing Spider-Man comics while I was actually going in there, and we weren't able to actually find any of the new ones because of how massive the store is, and I'm sure they were probably there somewhere, but I just couldn't find them. So when I was looking through the bargain bin, I actually did find one of the older Zeb Wells comics, and this one right here is actually going to be the Amazing Spider-Man number 76. And as you can see, the comic art right there is pretty awesome. It is a pretty sad looking cover with Peter Parker in a hospital bed in his Spider-Man suit. From what I'm aware, if this is the same storyline that I'm thinking of, it is going to be around when Peter Parker actually gets sick from something. I actually haven't been able to read the whole storyline myself, so I'm excited to actually start reading with this one. But from what I've heard, he ends up getting sick, and then Ben Reilly actually ends up taking over as the Amazing Spider-Man for a little bit. And then there's a few of the Amazing Spider-Man issues where it goes over Ben Reilly's story. So I'll definitely be interested to see that once I'm actually able to read this Amazing Spider-Man number 76. Up next, this is actually the last thing, as well as the first thing we really picked up in the store. And we do have this Spider-Man End of Spider-Verse whole storyline written by Dan Slott. So really awesome that we are able to actually get this. I was stuck on quite a bit of a cliffhanger because I did miss a comic in between a couple of the issues when I was collecting the End of Spider-Verse storyline at my local comic shop. So super stoked we're going to be able to catch up on it and actually read it in this whole book. From what I've read so far, every issue has just kept me on the edge of my seat. And a little bonus, right when we got home from Mile High Comics, Miss Spider-Pops did actually receive a package. She did actually recently order this wicked awesome Spider-Man purse. And it is just wicked awesome. It is made by Loungefly. As you can see, the strap goes all the way down to there. And it has a wicked awesome Spider-Man emblem right there, and a Marvel times Loungefly one on the back as well. So wicked awesome purse right there. Miss Spider-Pops is going to get tons of use out of that, and super cool that it got here just in time for the end of this video. But with all that being said, that is going to do it for our Wicked Webtastic adventure to Mile High Comics today. Wicked stoked we were able to bring you guys along for the ride to show off all of this wicked awesome stuff that we were able to get, as well as that absolutely webtastic store, Mile High Comics. Once again, if you guys are in the area, be sure to swing on by to Mile High Comics, wicked webtastic store. But with all that being said, that's pretty much going to do it for today's video. So make sure you guys are subscribed with bell notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of our future webtastic content. Right now, we are having a bit of an issue with our YouTube shorts, so every time we post them, it's not showing any of our subscribers. So currently, our custom Spidey suit shorts are going to be delayed until we were able to actually fix that. But with that being said, we are going to be trying to make a bit more of our longer length videos, so definitely make sure you guys have your bell notifications on for that so you don't miss out on any of our webtastic uploads, because we got a whole bunch of wicked fun stuff planned that you definitely don't want to miss out on. But just make sure you're subscribed if you haven't already. Leave a like on today's video if you enjoyed it. And that's going to do it for today's video on the Spider-Pops channel. So make sure you guys are staying safe out there, staying frosty, and having fun, of course. Have an amazing rest of your day, webheads.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Just like flies, look out, here comes the Spider-Man.
We're gonna show it off once we get back to the pop office. Miss Spider-Pop. Excuse you. Just kidding. God bless you.